We begin in the United Kingdom, where Britain's Conservative Party has chosen Foreign Secretary Liz Truss as the party's new leader, putting her in line to be confirmed as Prime Minister. She beat her rival and former Chancellor Rishi Sunak in the poll among members. She replaces Boris Johnson, who will submit his resignation to the Queen on Tuesday. It's expected the new cabinet will be unveiled on Tuesday evening. Ms. Truss will inherit a raft of challenges, most notably a cost of living crisis with soaring inflation and skyrocketing household energy bills.
Now the result. I, Sir Graham Brady, the returning officer for the Conservative and Unionist Party leadership election, declare that the total number of eligible voters was 172,437. The turnout in the election was 82.6%. The total number of votes rejected was 654. The total number of valid votes given to each candidate was as follows. Rishi Sunak, 60,399. Liz Truss, 81,326. Therefore, I give notice that Liz Truss is elected as the leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party. We'll come up on stage.
For more on the results, we can cross live to London, Downing Street, where Arise chief correspondent John Cookson joins us now from outside 10 Downing Street. John, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday. Tell us, how convincing a win was it for Liz Truss?
Hi guys, great to be on Newsday. Well, look, a win of just 21,000 over her rival was not the massive mandate that Liz Truss's supporters and Liz Truss herself was hoping for. She has to somehow unite the party in the coming days and weeks, and I think her supporters and she would be expecting, or what it had expected, a much bigger majority than 21,000. However, there we are, that's the figure, and she'll have to work with that. Short time ago, she gave a victory speech and thanked Boris Johnson for getting the COVID rollout underway and for getting Brexit done and for standing up to President Putin. She didn't give much away in terms of what she plans to do in the coming week. We know that she has a massive plan to try to solve the energy crisis. She said that she was going to deliver bold pledges to cut taxes. She said that she would deal with the energy crisis and also the crisis in the National Health Service. She said she would deliver, but didn't exactly say how she was going to deliver. And as I say, she's made a promise to come up with some massive plan within a week from now, but that massive in tray is full of trouble for Liz Truss, and I think, generally speaking, she would have hoped for a better mandate than she has. However, that's the one she has to work with, and in the coming days and weeks, she has to try and unite all sections of the party behind her. Or there are rumblings in the background that already her detractors are ready to submit letters of non-confidence in Liz Truss, which is an extraordinary thing to happen already, and she hasn't even been made Prime Minister yet. She's technically not Prime Minister until tomorrow. As at this hour, she's still just the leader of the Conservative Party.
And uniting the party is key, but how does this transition from Boris Johnson happen from now on?
Well, Boris Johnson is, we understand, in Downing Street at the moment, enjoying his last day in office, and at some point this afternoon, Liz Truss's supporters and her technical team will start arriving at Downing Street, logging into the computers and ensuring that the transition tomorrow goes smoothly. What will happen is that Boris Johnson will emerge from Downing Street tomorrow morning at around 9 a.m. and give his farewell speech, and then travel up to Balmoral to tender his resignation to the Queen. Liz Truss will also travel, possibly not on the government plane. She'll come back to Downing Street, or rather to London on the government plane. She'll probably make her own way up to Balmoral tomorrow. Johnson will hand in his notice to the Queen, and then when he's left, Liz Truss will go into the same room, meet with the Queen. She will ask, the Queen will ask Liz Truss to form a government, and of course she will accept. And then Liz Truss will come back to London tomorrow and give a statement again here on the steps of Downing Street at around 4 p.m. tomorrow. So, a huge political event happening right now in the UK. We now have a new leader of the Conservative Party and a new Prime Minister from tomorrow.
So once those formalities are done, then she has a massive tray of trouble officially facing her. What will her priorities be?
Well, the priority has to be the cost of living crisis and these massive, massive energy bills facing the British people from October. Bills are escalating almost daily. For example, the price of gas has gone up by 30% again today. So this has to be the priority now. And she's already said that she was going to deliver the equivalent of $45 billion in tax cuts to the British people. But it's going to take much more than that. It's going to take handouts either to the power companies or to the British people to help them cope with the rise in prices. And there's talk of $125 billion of government money needed to get the British people through the crisis of the coming months and the coming winter. So we'll hear much more on that in the next few days from Liz Truss. So that has to be the number one priority for her. Secondly is roar away inflation. Inflation rocketing at the moment, heading towards 20% by the end of the year. And then the crisis in the National Health Service. Some doctors saying that the system is close to collapse ahead of the winter period. So these are massive, massive issues facing her. And then, of course, there's the war in Ukraine. At some point, Liz Truss will, I think, make a visit to Ukraine in short order, following in the footsteps of Boris Johnson. Don't expect too much change in foreign policy towards Ukraine. Liz Truss rock solid behind support for Ukraine, and indeed has proposed that the UK's contribution to NATO exceeds 3% in the coming year. So so much in this woman's in tray. Let's hope that she has a good team behind her. Critics say that she's lightweight. She doesn't look at detail, which was the same allegations that people made about Boris Johnson. But this woman is going to be tested severely in the coming days, weeks and months ahead.
Well, John, in the meantime, Boris Johnson remains Prime Minister, well, at least for now. So how is he spending his day?
Well, he's spending his day inside Downing Street saying goodbye to staff, and in the morning he'll come out at around 9 a.m. and make a farewell speech right behind me. He will talk by telephone today, I understand, to President Zelensky at some point, mentioning, I'm sure, that the British position on Ukraine has not changed, and then he'll, in his speech tomorrow, not likely to apologise, because that's not the sort of thing that Boris Johnson does for the mistakes. He was very much the author of his own misfortune, which led to his downfall. And we all remember, of course, Partygate and other scandals. But he will also call again for the Conservative Party to unite behind Liz Truss. So that's all tomorrow. But today, a quietish day in Downing Street for Boris Johnson, making one important phone call, as I say, to Kiev.
And very interesting times ahead for the UK. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, John Cookson.